Fans, please welcome to the floor our fan tunnel guests from Center Wellington. And now it's time to get on your feet and make it loud for your Toronto Rock. Number 35, Brandon Miller. Number 66, Rosie Nick Rose. Number 3, welcome back, Brock Sorensen. Number 4, Jesse Gamble. Number 5, Sandy Chapman. Number 11, Brett Hickey. Number 15, Turner Evans. Number 17, Stefan LeBlanc. Number 23, Challen Rogers. Number 26, Tom Schreiber. Number 33, boom, boom, Casey Beard. The captain, number 37, Brody Merrill. Number 41, Dan Littner. Number 44, Jeff Gilbert. Number 45, Damon Edwards. Number 82, Jordan Magnuson. Number 91, Billy Hostrouser. Number 93, Latrell Harris. And number 97, he scored the game-tying and game-winning goal last night in overtime in Georgia. How about Reed Reinhold? The Rock are coached by Matt Sawyer, assisted by Blaine Manning, Bruce Codd, and Patty Campbell. Fans, at this time, please welcome tonight's opponents, the Vancouver Stealth. Here are your officials for tonight's game. The crew chief is Mark Gardonio. The assistant referees are Josh Hiltz and Kyle Cropman. And the shot clock operator is Roger Nurse. Fans, please rise, remove your hats, and welcome RCMP officers, Constable Christopher Pilon and Constable Aaron Martin, as they accompany the Rock's own Scotty Newlands for his performance of our national anthem.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for
Thank you, fans and lacrosse teams, for being here and helping us celebrate a big year for Canada and Canadian lacrosse. We hope you enjoy this all-Canadian matchup tonight.
At this time, we ask Vancouver captain Curtis Hodgson and Rock captain Brody Merrill to come to center for tonight's ceremonial face-off. Joining the captains are members of the
Hey, welcome to the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Shanny, it's a battle of Canada tonight. The Vancouver Stealth and the Toronto Rock. Now, the Rock coming off of a huge overtime win, a thriller last night in Georgia. Had to travel back, but by all accounts, what we heard from owner Jamie Dogg, wasn't too strenuous of a trip, so shouldn't have it too much of an impact tonight.
Yeah, huge win last night, but they don't have any time to savor it because this is a big game as well. Toronto now, they are in the battle for first place, but they also have to look behind them because they've got New England and Buffalo breathing down their necks to take the last playoff spot, both trying to knock them out. And Vancouver, this team is fighting for the last playoff spot as well. In spite of losing 5 games in a row after winning their first 2, Vancouver's 3-2 in their last 5, and they've knocked off some good teams in those 5 games. Colorado, Calgary, and even Saskatchewan. And this team is better on the road than they are at home. So this could be a pretty good battle. Actually, the 2 best road teams, Toronto's not so good at home as they are at road. 4-1 on the road, but these guys second best team on the road.
Yeah, 4-2 at home, or on the road rather, for the Vancouver Stealth. Now, when we were talking pregame, Shanny, to the Vancouver coaching staff, they said transition is key. The battle on transition, which Toronto's very good at, so that'll be something to track early.
Yeah, it seems to be a recurring theme. All these teams say you got to stop the transition from the other team, plus you got to put in a few goals of your own on transition. 5-on-5 doesn't cut it anymore, and even power play specialty teams, you need some transition goals. Everybody's recognizing Toronto is one of the better transition teams in the league, so Vancouver has to put a stop to that.
Scratches tonight, you have Garrett Billings out and Kieran McCardle out for the Toronto Rock. All right, opening faceoff is just moments away. You have Ty Belanger there, you see, and Nick Rose going toe-to-toe. And for the Stealth, it's been an interesting year in net for Vancouver because you had Tyler Richards started very well, the veteran netminder, the first couple games of the season, then struggled, and Belanger's really come in and helped settle things down.
Yeah, I know he's played very well. He's been in that stretch I mentioned how they're 3-2 in the last 5. A couple of them have been steals by Belanger, particularly the win against Saskatchewan where they were outshot by more than 20 shots, and he won that game for them.
Toronto in their home blue, red, and white uniforms. Vancouver white, black, and red. Toronto cycling the ball well. Be interesting to see the start the Rock get. I'm sure that would be a message there. Shanny as Littner got stoned there by Belanger. He's in tonight for Kieran McArdle.
Only one change with the Toronto Rock from last night, and that is putting Littner in for Kieran McArdle. And that wasn't a reflection on McArdle's game or anything. It was just the decision they were going to go with the extra righty today instead of the extra lefty yesterday.
And for Vancouver, despite the defensive troubles, phenomenal offensive weapons. You have Corey Small, Corey Conway, and you just have so much scoring potential on that team, Shanny, that hasn't been the issue. It's about stopping the ball. And there's the Rock sprinting in with Schreiber. He kicks it back, trying to draw the defense in. Hickey, who had 5 last night, stopped by Belanger.
Belanger did a good job getting out to take away that angle.
Coming right on, and that ball sails into the crowd on the near boards. Of course, Reese Dutch, assistant captain, always a weapon.
I want to actually hit the post that shot. Not the greatest angle, but he squeezed it on the short side.
Vancouver keeps possession. There's Schuss, dishes, and trying for that backdoor push. Just too far for Durston. Toronto coming back the other way. There's Challen Rogers. A little bit of space. Playing cat. Whoa, too far, and Littner was right there. Littner on the left wing. Waiting for the offense to come in. See how Toronto does as this game progresses. That overtime win against Georgia at night. Go! And right on the goal line was Littner. Belanger cutting down the angle and trying for the breakaway feed down to Ryan Wagner. Couldn't take it.
Well, you can definitely see Vancouver's trying to push the transition game. That pass didn't click.
One of the focuses. Toronto's been so good on transition. Littner got rid of it. And Evans back in his second game. Littner with the quick shot. Belanger got down. Great positioning there by Belanger. Evans returning from an ankle injury yesterday, as did Brock Sorensen. To get a big body back on D for Toronto as well. Belanger with the quick outlet pass. Finds Joel McCready. These two teams, as you mentioned, Shandy, so important for playoff positioning as this season winds down. Kick save. And a big rebound. Toronto there to pick up after that shot. That was Brody Merrill. Sandy Chapman hustles over center. Under 12 minutes to go in the opening quarter. No score. Pass in behind. LeBlanc corrals it in off the boards. 12 to shoot. Underhand toss. There's Reed Reinhold. 2 goals and an assist for the rookie.
And not just 2 goals last night. He scored the tying goal with the goaltender pull, then the overtime winner.
Yeah.
So 2 big goals.
Poised by the rookie. Trying to catch Toronto in transition here. There's Salt.
I think there's a penalty going to be called. I believe Toronto might be getting called for too many men on the floor.
Belanger to the bench for the extra attacker. There's Schuss. You have Dutch out there. Corey Small also. He's setting up in the low post, trying to create some space for Schuss, and Rose with a tremendous stop, as we'll see what the penalty is.
Logan Schuss has a fantastic outside shot. In his 3rd year, was a Rookie of the Year, 2014.
Penalty, 2 minutes, illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution, the call. So Brock Sorensen's the in-home server of that penalty.
And we mentioned how Vancouver wants to get their transition game going. That penalty is because of Vancouver moving the ball up quick.
Shot right on, and Rose has been stellar early on. And a line drive outlet pass.
And Garrett Billings is not in the lineup for Vancouver. He's only played 4 games for them this year.
Former Toronto Rock great.
Recovering from injury, and obviously he's not 100%.
He'll be a key piece if they can get him healthy for the postseason. If Vancouver can make it, they're in a dogfight with Calgary for that last spot. Whoa, and that skipper kind of knuckled there. Belanger saw enough of it. Shots 4-3 in favor of the Stealth. They have a minute 10 to go on the power play. Vancouver's power play is ranked 7th in the NLL.
That was
Toronto's
a real
penalty kill
sloppy
7th.
play for Vancouver, throwing the ball away on the power play.
Yeah, that turnover now gives Toronto a chance to just wear things down. 50 seconds to kill for Toronto. And Reed Reinhold on the right side cuts in. Reed Reinhold turned invisible and got hammered as he was going to the net. Nice slippery move. He turned sideways there. .30 seconds left in the illegal substitution minor for the Rock. Keep an eye on Corey Small. He's centering up. Small sets the pick. Oh, and that go off the post, Shane?
I'm not sure if it went off the post or Nick Rose's stick.
Yeah, it hit something. Schuss.
Oh, they're not going to take a shot now because Sorensen's about to come out of the penalty box. They don't want to see a big rebound go up the floor to him. So they'll probably wait till he gets close to the defensive end, then they're going to step in and shoot.
He's out and 10 on the shot clock. Sorensen back on the floor. Trying to get Rose moving, and he slithers over. Toronto with the rebound. There's Gilbert rumbling up the floor. He has Merrill with him, as well as Chapman, and Gilbert will wait for the offense to get on the floors. We are back to even strength.
Notice on that shot, Toronto scooping up the rebound. Last week against Colorado, they had trouble with that.
Yeah, and Colorado didn't give up many rebounds. That was also the problem. Dubbin diving! And Belanger has been sensational early, as has Rose. We'll take the break. No score, Toronto versus Vancouver. You're watching.
Brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Don't miss your chance to see all the action live this season on NLLTV.com. Sign up for the NLL Pass to watch all the games or your favorite team. Plus, you can get exclusive content, highlights, interviews, and more. Back at the Air Canada Centre here in Toronto, Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. A Battle of Canada tonight as the Vancouver Stealth are visiting the Toronto Rock. And Shanny, my goodness, the importance of this matchup in the standings. You have Vancouver at 5-7, Calgary playing later tonight, hosting New England, who are right behind the Toronto Rock.
Yeah, New England has been hot lately. You're right behind the Toronto Rock.
And Calgary right behind
just ahead
Vancouver.
of Calgary.
And
Corey Small, this guy's had a great season.
What a year he has. He has had Jim Milligan, assistant coach of the Stealth, was saying, and Jamie Batley rather as well. And that's a goal. I was going to praise Corey Small.
That's
the Stealth get on the board.
Reese Dutch, one of the most consistent scorers in the NLL over the last 7 or 8 years, broke into this league, I believe, in 2009. And he can do it all. He's got a great, tricky outside shot, but he can bring it into the net. He can dive across. He's a fantastic player.
And head coach Jamie Batley of the Stealth was telling us that Dutch, Small, and Conway, the playing together in the summer, that chemistry has really carried over this year, and we saw it again on that drive. So 1-0 Vancouver.
Yeah, from Victoria, BC. Dutch was the Rookie of the Year in 2009. Won a championship in 2010. He scored 11 points in a 15-11 win.
Not a bad start to the
And he wasn't the MVP of the game. I still can't believe that.
8 minutes even to go in the opening quarter. Stealth lead 1-0. There's Schreiber. He had 5 points last night as the shot clock hit 0.
And that championship that Reese Dutch won, there's a few members of that team still here with Vancouver. Was against the Toronto Rock, 2009. I think it was Jamie Dawick's first year as the owner of the Toronto Rock.
Vancouver pressing here. Dodson tried to catch Small in behind, and Rose turned into a brick wall there with the save.
Rose knew he had the angle covered. He knew he didn't have to move. Sometimes you're better off trusting that you've got it covered.
There's Hickey. He Puts his shoulder into it. Catches Bjorns in stride off the bench. Stutter step. Waits and scores! A feed from Bjorns. And Toronto's on the board to Turner Evans.
That's got to feel good for Turner Evans, who missed a few games with an ankle injury, came back yesterday, got a couple assists. But you're right, nice little stutter move to make himself some room. So he can wind up, step back from the checker, and get a good shot, good bounce shot.
8th goal
of the season for Turner Evans.
15, Turner Evans.
That face-off draw bouncing from the Colorado bench, still free, and it goes into the Vancouver bench there.
750. Turner Evans from Casey Bjorns.
We're all tied up at 1. Hickey and Bjorns with the helpers.
Toronto, do you want another?
On the left side. Sends it to Schreiber. Schreiber can't quite penetrate, plants his foot right onto Belanger. Big rebound, Lindner scores! Lindner leaping through the air! Makes it 2-1 Toronto.
And this is what we were talking about last week. Toronto seemed to get no rebounds last week, or there were no rebounds. Here, great outside shot, a lot of power from Schreiber's shot, but Lindner is all over it to pick it up, nobody on him, and he puts it away.
And Shanny, that's not something you can necessarily teach to a goaltender. You can try to adjust, but some guys are just so good at it, like Dylan Ward was. And other ones, doesn't mean you're a bad goaltender, but your rebounds are going to happen.
No, exactly, they're going to happen. In fact, I think it was uncanny last week how Ward just seemed to scoop up those shots with his stick. The long shots, there was no rebound. He seemed to have a way of getting it into his stick every time.
Behind the back pass, beautifully fed. Wow. What a pass that found Hogarth. Rose made the save. Beautiful feed, though.
In fact, if you're the coach, you want your goalie to worry about stopping the shot, not thinking about what he's going to do with the rebound.
Yeah.
Just stop the shot. We'll take care of the rebound.
And that's where the defense is supposed to come in. Clear away any garbage in front. Whitner calling for it. It was the Bjorns instead, and his stick was hacked. Bjorns pushing it to, whoa, and Lindner nailed Hawksby on the way by. Hawksby looking for a penalty, didn't get it. On the transition, sidearm hurl, and things getting chippy here underneath as McCready is pushing.
Well, that was a pretty good shot by Joel McCready. We are getting penalties. I'm not sure who it's going to. Looks like it's Toronto guy.
McCready dipped that shoulder, and Lindner is getting a call.
I think that might be the call we saw earlier on Hawksby.
Toronto penalty, 2 minutes, illegal cross-check.
Yeah, I think that'd be a Hawksby popped that head back.
Yeah, Hawksby gave a good check to Bjorns on the scoring chance. Didn't let Bjorns follow through on the shot. Joel McCready gets a good scoring chance on the transition. But Lindner gave a little revenge and got caught. We thought he got away with it.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, and McCready going, or rather Corey Small going right at him. Long on the pass, intercepted by Vancouver. Durston with the pick.
He very calmly scooped that.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collected there by Durston. 5:17 left in the quarter. $1.30 on the penalty to Lindner. Vancouver pressing. Oh, went near side. Quick release.
Yeah, Shush has a sneaky shot. Not much wind up there. You said a quick release.
Dutch and Small. Dutch is fed. Turning around, and what a stop by Nick Rose.
Very nice play by Vancouver and a nicer save by Rose.
Whoa, what a big, just avoided. There's Kevin on breakaway. Kevin and stoned by Belanger.
Absolutely beautiful play by the Rock to get that
Hold
breakaway.
on, and scores! Stephen LeBlanc, who got rushed on trying to beat Chapman, got it back. And it's 3-1 Toronto.
A rare shorthanded goal for the Toronto Rock.
Yeah, number 4 on the season.
Yes, only their 4th shorthanded goal, but their 2nd big scoring chance on this penalty. Just coming after the Chapman breakaway. A great play on the Chapman breakaway. I'm not sure who made that pass to him, but he said it just before he got crushed, moved it to Chapman.
Wagner nearly lost it to Edwards. Schreiber with the helper.
And And I think it was LeBlanc who originally had set up Chapman for the breakaway.
Yeah, that
and
was
then
it.
he cashed it himself.
And then he just got rid of it in time, drew the defense in, and then was able to wriggle free. And still 30 seconds left. Now it's Toronto's turn for an interception. The Rock rumbling down the floor. The captain, Brody Merrill, thought better of to shoot. I'll eat up the time. There's Brock Sorensen back, big 6'6". See that big left knee brace on, covering from ACL surgery out last April. Back-to-back nights he's playing. One addition, that is back to the Toronto lineup to get a defender of that quality.
Yeah, big, strong guy. You know, he's got pretty good touch around the net, too.
And Littner out of the box. Oh, he was coming for Schuss. He was coming for 18.
He was thinking about it.
Here the stealth at Schuss. Right side. Can't penetrate. Able to feed it. Got Rose moving, but he got that right leg out there. Vancouver's offense is so dangerous and fast. Jesse Gamble with the scoop up. There's Damon Edwards with him. Gamble will head to the bench as Edwards waits for reinforcements. Back to even strength here. Reinhold with the dump out, and that is just off the mark. Rock doing a nice job of drawing in defenses early.
That was a very nice play by Reinhold.
And turnover. Here's McCready.
Good battle in front of the net.
Corey Small jogging. Yeah, Hickey in on it. And whoa, went for a bouncer and took a weird spin, rattled off the glass. Yeah, the physicality getting turned up here in the first quarter. Billy Hostrauser. Toronto's offense trying to set up. Reinhold looking to clear a lane. Whoa! Losing that ball. Evans diving, and him and Justin Salt were having a nice battle. Two out to handle for O'Doherty. Or Doherty, rather, and there's Evans. Evans, whoa! Evans got picked up. Evans still kept it. It did it behind the back line. Evans was caught in midair and spun to get free.
Oh, watch Evans try to squeeze through. He went up in the air there. Probably would have been called for a crease play nonetheless. But
look, that would have been goal of the year. I don't care. That would have been goal of the year if that
you would have given them a goal whether it was in the crease or not on that effort.
All right, we'll step aside. 3-1 Toronto.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
All right, action back underway here at the Air Canada Centre. Minute 52 remaining in the first quarter. 3-1 Toronto leads Vancouver. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Stealth with possession here. And Toronto picks up the loose ball. in the near corner and come rumbling up the floor. Hostrauser is with Chapman. Chapman takes it himself. And a great stop there by Ty Belanger.
Not a great job by Vancouver on that transition. They're just slow getting their defense on and giving Toronto 3-on-2s.
Whoa, McCready getting hacked by Hostrauser and Magnuson. Still gets the ball to his teammates, though. Hawksby, oh, he almost got pushed over center. Edwards bullying his way, and now he's giving chase to Ray. Eventually, a harmlessly bounces to Nick Rose.
A couple of turnovers by Vancouver because of some aggressive defense by Toronto. And last time Damon Edwards, a little earlier, it was Latrell Harris. They're causing mistakes.
Last minute of play in the first quarter. Toronto looking like they're playing with fresher legs than Vancouver. Having played last night, did the Rock, 12-11 win over Georgia. Stephen LeBlanc with that swim move. Can't get the angle he likes. Got one away from a tough angle there. Shot clock hit 0, and now the Stealth trying to catch the Rock in transition. And on a chance, kick saved by Rose. And the rebound, who's going to come up with that? McFetridge giving chase, and it will be Vancouver ball. And we have Ty Belanger coming out for the extra attacker with 26 seconds remaining. So the shot clock is dead. This will be Vancouver's possession for the rest of the quarter if they want it. 15 seconds. Logan Schuss. Planting and a shoulder save. Not the best choice of shot, I would think. 1 second left. And the clock hits 0. And after one, the Rock lead the Stealth 3-1. We'll take a quick break and come back for the second quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears, you name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check, and the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds, we lost count countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Sign up and get all the latest NLL news delivered right to your inbox. Visit NLL.com and sign up for the NLL newsletter right now. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan here at the Air Canada Centre. Battle of Canada, the Toronto Rock leading the Vancouver Stealth 3-1 after the Stealth had an early 1-0 lead. A couple of power plays. Toronto's really started to turn the tide, Shanny, with that shorthanded goal.
Yeah, just their fourth shorthanded goal this season.
That came from Stephen LeBlanc. Vancouver going from right to left on your screen. Shoulder stop by Rose. High fly ball on the outlet pass. Finds Jesse Gamble. Gamble being pushed back. Ground ball pass is out of play. Couple rows into the Platinums here at the ACC. One of the strategies for Vancouver tonight was to be better on transition. They've been inconsistent. That's a strength of the Rock. They've been pretty good so far, I think, Shanny.
Yeah, Toronto's transition, offensive transition has been pretty good, but I think Vancouver's also brought their own. They haven't scored on them yet, but they've had a few chances.
Conway, sneaky shot. Rose got his toe in the way of that. Loose ball scramble on the near boards.
Toronto's dominated on the ground balls in their own end. That's for sure, though.
There's Brody Merrill, one of the best loose ball collectors in the league. There's Stefan LeBlanc, had the shorthanded goal early. LeBlanc, three-quarter delivery, stopped by Belanger. And since taking over, Ty Belanger has really settled down this Vancouver team. And you mentioned it earlier, Shanny, how they have improved after that 5-game losing streak and remain in a playoff position right now in a fight with Calgary. Vancouver can't quite find a lane they like. McCready got rid of it. 8 to shoot. Backing up. And it will be a Toronto ball. After Durston couldn't get it on goal. There's Turner Evans on the right side. Evans with the left. To that left side. There's Schreiber. Schreiber with the dump! And at the top of the crease, scores! Now, Bierns had the one touch. Belanger had it at first, it looked, Shanny, and then it trickled in.
Yeah, he did have it, but it looked like it was trickling in. Then when he spun around, it finished off the trickle, went all the way deep in the net.
Let's have a look. So you see Schreiber with the feed.
Makes the save. Yeah.
Kind of turned around.
Not sure if it went in the first. And watch as it's trickling. It looked like it went in and he pulled it out, but regardless, it went right back.
It looked like, he had it, and then when he moved, it became unlodged and then went in.
I believe it actually went in on that first trickle, and then when he tried to pull it out, he popped it back in.
Just made it worse. 12th goal of the year for Casey Bierns, and now 4-1 for the Rock. Rock are 3-1 this season when leading after the first quarter. There's Corey Conway. Conway, big body, 6'2", 215. Trying to use that size to his advantage there. Turned over, and the Rock bringing up the floor. Streaking. Stefan LeBlanc just ran out of real estate. Had a good head of steam on it.
Yeah, it looked like he could have taken that to the net if he really wanted to.
LeBlanc receives. You have Evans setting up in the low post. LeBlanc in the neutral zone. Now clicks to the left side. Finds Evans! And getting Belanger sliding from right to left, but Belanger, terrific positioning.
Yeah, that was great positioning by Belanger, because that's tough. You know, from east to west that pass came. He had to go a long way to get over to take that angle away.
Ray receives. Second offensive unit for Vancouver on the floor. Reese Dutch out there as well. 4 to shoot. Reese Dutch has the ball knocked loose. 1 second left. And Ray will just try to get rid of it. 30-second shot clock violation.
Toronto was fortunate that the shot clock went there, because after Dutch got his stick knocked out of his hands, he picked it up and was home free to the net if there was more time left.
You're right. Reed Reinhold, the hero last evening in Georgia. Reinhold gets hammered from behind, still gets a quality shot away. O'Doherty pummeled him, and Littner gets hit hard. Crease violation, so stealth possession here. Cliff Smith. You have Conway fails to click and took a weird hop off the glass. And Toronto, well, might get the turnover. Yeah, they do. Now Brody Merrill leaves the man in his dust. The captain, shoulder fake, and what a save by Belanger. Brody Merrill. Little shrug move, did not fool Belanger.
He gets at least one of those a game.
He does.
And he always looks for someone to pass it off to.
He was all alone there. Evans sidestepping his way. Clicks on the left, picked off. Great read by Jarrett Toll. You saw that pass coming, and now it's Vancouver ball. There's Dutch. Put everything he had behind that. And a scramble in the crease.
That's a big save by Nick Rose. And that's a 3-on-2. That's Reese Dutch, one of the best shooters, coming right down the middle.
He put all his 210 pounds behind that one. 10 minutes remaining in the half. Reed Reinhold backing his way in, sliding out. Kicked it back beyond the line. Yeah, Brett Hickey. And Reinhold backstepping, jumping, leaping, scoring! My goodness, Reed Reinhold! Unbelievable!
You know, we talk a lot about the rookies on the Toronto Rock, Latrell Harris on defense, Schreiber on offense. We don't talk enough about Reed Reinhold. Scored the last 2 goals in that overtime win yesterday, and this is just a beauty.
Well, Jenny, the concentration to be, because Belanger made himself so big that the positioning and accuracy was phenomenal.
Well, you know, the thing is also he plays so well off LeBlanc.
Yeah.
They know they can't, they're so afraid of leaving LeBlanc to double team Reinhold that they hesitated so much, and they gave Reinhold that extra room to take it to the net, and a big goal.
We'll step aside 5-1, Rock up on Vancouver. You're watching the NLL on NLL TV. Action back underway here in the second quarter. 9:30 left to play. Rock, whoa, that went off the post. Rock versus the Stealth. Toronto leading Vancouver 5-1. Vancouver went up 1-0 early and hasn't scored since. They nearly did right there. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. And it's going to be Toronto ball there. You can follow us on Twitter at NLL, at AndyMC81, and at SBD Shanny. Out the door, and scores! Right off the bench on transition. Brett Hickey, who had 5 last night, gets his first this evening.
And Brett Hickey's become the most dangerous player on the Toronto Rock coming off the bench. Well executed, great pass by Brody Merrill. And Hickey just drills this in top corner. No fakes needed.
The excellence of execution, Brett Hickey. And that's exactly what Vancouver was trying to avoid, the transition game, and they've been good up to this point. But Brett Hickey just too dangerous, and now 6 unanswered goals by Toronto. Sorensen gets tangled up with McCready there in front of the referee circle. You can join the conversation on Twitter using hashtag #VanVersusTor. Hope you're enjoying the game. And Nick Rose stopping Corey Small there. Corey Small went airborne.
That was a huge save.
Sorensen can't come up with it. Nice positioning by Travis Cornwall to make sure Sorensen didn't have a clear look to the net. Cliff Smith was shoved off, gave to Reese Dutches. Vancouver's offense will start settling up. Reese Dutch, clear spot to the net, and it goes past Rose. Got a bit of his equipment similar to the goal that Belanger led in. He got a bit of it, and it ended up going in.
Yeah, watch this pick that was thrown. I believe it to Damon Edwards. He's complaining to the referee about it. But it cut off all the help. Chapman is chasing from behind. Oh, yes. And Damon Edwards is knocked flat on his behind. That's why he had to complain. They're throwing the flag, but I don't believe they can challenge that play. You can only challenge whether there was a crease violation or whether it was a late goal.
See what the
and they gave the flag back. So
is that like last week?
My only guess is you've got 20 seconds to throw the flag. It used to be that you had until the face-off. The rules changed that it's 20 seconds regardless of whether the ball is dropped or not. So that flag, oh no, they are challenging it. Sorry, so they did get on time. He is challenging it.
Okay, so let's see here. And, now, yes. When did the ball go in? Because Rose did get a piece of it, and you look at Dutch's
No, but
left
if the
foot.
shooter steps in the crease, there's no goal, regardless of whether he gets out in time.
Let's see. Yeah.
I think that'll be no goal.
Yep.
Now, if there's another player that steps in the crease, as long as he gets out before the ball goes in, but if it's the shooter steps in the crease, the goal is nullified. That's what's going to happen here.
They didn't take too much time. Let's see.
After review, the call on the floor is overturned. We have no goal.
Called back. Called back. So I will scratch that off my score sheet.
And Damon Edwards will like that because he was knocked on his butt from the pick.
Vancouver captain Curtis Hodgson getting clarification from the official. Looks to be the correct call there.
That was a good eye by the Toronto Rock coaching staff because they called that without the advantage of a replay. They didn't have time to see a replay. They threw the flag down right away.
Toronto possession, trying to capitalize on this. Schreiber with the drop on the left corner. LeBlanc calling for it, decides for Schreiber instead. Schreiber on the left side, 12 to shoot. LeBlanc looking for Littner. He got spun around, though, by Hawksby. Toronto keeps possession, though. Winding. And that was a lot of power behind that, but it bounces off the boards and into the stands. Vancouver ball. Less than 8 minutes to play here in the first half. 6-1 Toronto. There's Reese Dutch. Had one taken away. See if he can get one back. He has Estelle's only goal so far tonight. To the weak side for Ray. Ray went high and way wide, but Small got it off the board. Small with the dump, looking for Dutch. He found it, 2 to shoot, though, and he's all tangled up. He'll just dump it into the corner. Shots even at 20 apiece. Schreiber receives. Schreiber with the sidearm whip. It was wide, but Toronto gathers it off the glass. That's Evans. Evans turns on the Jets. Evans gets pushed back. To the point for Reinhold. Reinhold threw a lot of traffic. Defender got in the way.
Hit the defender.
Yeah, that was a hard block. McCready swinging, missing, gets turned around by Harris. Evans strolls over center. And now Toronto's offense back on the floor. LeBlanc backpedaling and receives. LeBlanc one-on-one matchup. Illegal pick is the call on Toronto. Stealth possession. Now Doherty rumbling up the floor. Doherty spinning. What a spin move by O'Doherty, and Nick Rose was right there by the post.
Toronto pulled the ball back into the crease, so Vancouver will get it back.
And they're still feeling it right now. Skipper, that is a high fly ball as it ricocheted off the glass and taken. Hey, Jays need a center fielder maybe. There's Challen Rogers who took that down. And Rock Ball, stealth ball as Durston got tangled up.
That rebound of that shot went so high, I think it nearly hit the Davey Keon banner.
That was really high. That was way up. And Ray thought he had the ball. It spun around, and one of his teammates got it. There's Reese Dutch. Pick set. Oh, went for the screen. Dangerous shot.
That went off the post.
And still Vancouver ball. Toronto defense being on the floor for quite a while here.
I think there was an exceptional save in the crowd.
Yeah, it skipped off fast. Just trying to back his way through, creating some space. Conway had the ball swatted down. Taken by McCready. Went wide. Magnuson hits the floor hard. Little kick ball there.
I think it's Vancouver's getting the penalty for a slash.
And let's see. Get the official call here.
Vancouver penalty, number 10, 2 minutes slashing.
2 minutes slashing to Reese Dutch. Well, Toronto's first power play of the evening, ranked 8th in the NLL. Vancouver's penalty kill is dead last. Now they have 2 shorthanded goals on the year, fewest in the league. Toronto's power play converting just under 42% of the time, significantly below Vancouver. That's at 51%, 1 slot above them in 7th. Schreiber and LeBlanc playing catch. Toronto cycling it around the arc here. Schreiber sidestepping. Went down low, back to the point to LeBlanc. LeBlanc looking, waiting. To Schreiber, right on, and Belanger had the C's part to see enough. He's going for the break. Long outlet pass, caught in stride, shoots, and save. Whoa, a sweeping save by Nick Rose. Justin Salt, who the Vancouver coaching staff told us, Shanny, was someone to watch for tonight.
Yeah, he's probably their best transition guy. And, you know, Nick Rose is playing an exceptional game. Salt was on the wrong side of the floor, but still, that's a tough save. Almost rolled in.
Great outlet pass, too, by Belanger. Toronto creeping in off the backboards. Picked off by Vancouver. 1:10 left to kill for them. And now it's Vancouver rumbling in again. Wagner getting hammered by Jesse Gamble.
Sloppy job by the Toronto's power play, though, getting to the bench on those plays, giving these transition opportunities. It was only a great job by Gamble to knock that guy off balance. The only reason that wasn't another breakaway.
Nick Rose has saved at least a couple goals in the last minute here. Ray going after, as is McCready. Harrison on the action, and the shot clock hits 0. And that will take us to our second break of the quarter. 6-1, Toronto leads Vancouver. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Come on now. Want a little heat?
Yeah.
Here we go. 1, 3. Boom. Try it. Up, 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 up.
If you're a player looking for a lightweight head that delivers power and control, string up the Under Armour Command Low.
4:12 to go in the first half. 6-1 Rock lead the Vancouver Stealth. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan with you. Rock in possession, going from left to right on your screen. Still 28 seconds on the power play on the Reese Dutch minor. Rock creeping in. Nice pass by Schreiber at the point. Lets her rip, and a stop by Belanger. Both goaltenders have been excellent tonight. There's O'Doherty.
And even though Vancouver has the worst power play in the NLL statistically, they did a pretty good job not letting Toronto get really any dangerous shots.
Yeah, you're right.
They blocked a few. Vancouver probably got 2 better scoring chances than Toronto got.
Being shorthanded there, yeah, absolutely.
Dutch.
And Dutch right out of the box. And they make it 6-2. So Reese Dutch, he had that other one earlier that was called back. He said, I want that second one, and he got it.
It's not too different than his first goal of the game. Just an outside shot. You know, it's funny because, you know, late in the first quarter, when they pulled their goalie, he took an outside shot, and you said, you know, not the best shot, but when you can score as much as a guy like Reese Dutch does, you feel you're in a good spot when you're shooting from there. Dutch has the ball again. Damon Edwards gets a breakaway, looks behind him. Big save by Belanger.
No difficulties on
back with us
on the headset there, Shanny, but
my brief try at
there you go.
play-by-play for 10 seconds.
There you are. Don't do too good of a job on me there. 24 shots apiece. 6-2 the score here. And Vancouver coming back the other way. So much scoring power on this Stealth club. Small, Conway, Dutch, Schuss. And Schuss with it right now. Loose ball scramble in behind Rose. And Toronto, yes, Toronto does come up with it. Brody Merrill takes the feed from Sorensen in his second game back from ACL surgery. Time ticking down in this first half. Schreiber on the left side. Too hot to handle for Evans. He does gobble up the loose ball, though. Little dump to Reinhold. Rears back, and that ball was redirected wide. Oh, through the legs of Hickey. And it's Vancouver. A full break and wide. Oh, Justin Salt again on the transition. He heard some footsteps, but a great scoring opportunity. Toronto back the other way now.
Yeah, Justin Salt's been getting all kinds of chances. The defenders coming on the floor have been doing a pretty good job of getting that, putting enough pressure on that he can't take the shot he wants to take.
There's Stephen LeBlanc, right side swim move. Sends it back, draws in the D, sidearm skipper, and that goes about 18 rows up behind Ty Belanger.
Off Belanger, though, so that Toronto gets the ball back.
LeBlanc has possession as the play is blown in. And scores! Ho! A rocket! Toronto's 7th goal.
I watched LeBlanc play most of this shift as the only lefty. Finally, some help comes over to his side of the floor. And Reed Reinhold causes just enough interference from the pick to give LeBlanc that step and the shot and the goal.
And right before that, Shanny, was a little head fake by LeBlanc. Looked like it drew the defense away for that half second. He was able to capitalize. 17th of the year, second of the game for LeBlanc. And Toronto is rolling here, up 7-2. There's McCready. Catching his man off the bench. Plants and Rose with the pad save. And the Rock really turning up the pace here. Jesse Gamble. Drops it and heads to the bench. Last minute of play in the first half. There's Turner Evans. Rock looking for more. Clicks with Evans, does LeBlanc. Over the left side, Schreiber, and scores! Actually, it's Littner. Littner from the left side. Dropped that shoulder and buries it. 8-2 Toronto.
This shot had eyes on it. Long distance, but through a crowd. And watch Belanger. He's not even sure how that went in. I believe it was the 5-hole. And Littner, looking like the rest last night didn't hurt him.
Yeah.
He didn't play last night.
9th goal of the year. 2nd of the night. 44 seconds to go in the first half, and Toronto now up 8-2. Vancouver lost 15-11 to the Bandits last weekend. Coming off a full week of rest, Toronto overtime winners against the Swarm in Georgia last night. We have a timeout called by Vancouver. And Shannon, while we have a second, hello on Twitter to a couple of our great followers, lacrosse followers at MegamanLAX and at @SeniorB_North Stars, the Owen Sound Senior B lacrosse team there. A couple of great lacrosse squads there, so thank you for watching along, fellas.
I played 1 year for the Owen Sound Senior
Did
B
you really?
North Stars. Yes.
Wow.
Great lacrosse town.
Passionate fan base.
A lot of fun. I just didn't like the fact that it was 4 hours away from home to get to a practice. But I had a great time up there.
Oh, passionate lacrosse fans out there in the Boston Megamen. Got to know them in 2013 at the Alex Rebeshki Memorial Tournament in Prague, Czech Republic. Those are some good guys. Great merchandise, too, based after the old Nintendo game. The logo.
And you've been there, but it's a great lacrosse box in
It is.
Prague, an outdoor lacrosse
Yeah.
box. I've seen pictures. It's on my bucket list to get there.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Vancouver's called a timeout. They've only got 11 seconds left in the shot clock, 25 seconds left in the half. So it does look like they're pulling Belanger. It's a gutsy move. Because if they get the shot and don't get the rebound, Toronto's got plenty of time to take it to that empty net. I'm wondering if this might be some sort of fake play and somebody's going to run to the bench and Belanger will go straight back in the net.
Reese Dutch will start it off. 8 on the shot clock.
Small went back to the bench. Belanger's back.
Belanger, and whoa, Reese Dutch, a good thing he was. Because Stephen LeBlanc, as his shot clock hit 0. LeBlanc nearly picked it up. And Vancouver ball, but the Rock will call a timeout themselves now with 13 seconds left.
And with only 13 seconds to go, the Rock can safely pull Nick Rose and just play for the last late shot.
Lots of action around the National Lacrosse League tonight underway. Buffalo at Rochester, Saskatchewan in Colorado, and New England facing Calgary. We'll keep you up to date on those scores as they develop with playoff implications as the season rolls on here. For Toronto, at 7-5 now, 1 game back of Georgia. For Vancouver, 5-7, you have Calgary at 4-9. So if Vancouver loses tonight and Calgary pulls off a win against New England, that makes the last playoff spot in the West very interesting. And New England, you got to worry about for Toronto at 6-6, 1 game back of them.
And in that New England-Calgary game, that's Sean Evans' first visit back to Calgary since getting traded to New England the summer before last season.
That's right. And for Buffalo and Rochester tonight, this could be the season for the Nighthawks if they don't pull one out.
A must win for Rochester if they have any hopes of making the playoffs.
Yeah, as the NLL trade deadline approaches, it's 3 p.m. this Monday. Myself and Shanny did a article, kind of a combo of audio and visual with the reading component of it on NLL.com, going over different scenarios, buyers and sellers for the trade deadline, so check that out. Play blown in, 6 seconds left. 4 seconds, Schreiber with it, clicks with Rhino. Rhino plants that foot, gets swatted down, and one more shot, and that's the end of the first half. Peter McFedridge may have saved a goal, getting in the way of that Toronto delivery from the point.
Well, considering the Toronto Rock played last night in a big emotional victory, they've got to be absolutely thrilled with how they came out. Often you come out flat after a big win like that, and especially when you go from playing maybe one of the best teams in the NLL to a so-called weaker team.
Right.
Sometimes you're not ready for that.
No, and that was one of the angles I wanted to watch for the Rock. How did they come out? Were they sluggish? And Going into the second half, it's going to be interesting because once you get into that fourth quarter, if you are tired, then that travel is going to catch up with you if it's going to catch up anytime in the fourth quarter. So for Vancouver, Shannon, I'm sure it's all right, get back into it quickly in the third and be within striking distance in the fourth so that if they are tired, you can take advantage.
And that's exactly what the Vancouver coaches are going to be telling their players. Look, we're down 8-2, but Toronto played last night. Their legs are going to get heavy eventually. I'm sure that's what he's telling his team. Coach Batley told us the same thing happened to his team, Vancouver, when they ran out of legs, I believe, in the game last week against Buffalo. In the third quarter, they ran out of legs. They were leading going into the third quarter, and Buffalo went on a run, and he said, they were just too tired. So this could easily happen to Toronto. They're playing their fifth, sixth, seventh quarter in 24 hours is coming up. So
and you had the extra overtime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you had some extra, and for the stealth, they have the weapons to do it. People, right? Like it could easily, if they come out flat, the Toronto Rock in that third quarter, and Vancouver gets the jump. Small, Dutch, Schuss, Conway. Like we've listed off.
They've got a lot of great weapons, and so far, Dutch has been the only weapon who's been able to put the ball behind the net, and a lot of that has to go to Nick Rose. Great defense by Toronto. They've been pouncing on rebounds. Yeah. They've been creating loose balls and aggressive defense. But Nick Rose has made 3 or 4 fantastic saves, or this game could be a lot closer.
No, you're absolutely right. 8-2 at the half. Toronto leads Vancouver. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Kewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports, and for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season. It's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
Yes, time now for my box boss. It's kind of difficult to pick just 3 players from this week. A lot of players having some very great performances, but I've got to do it. There's room for just 3. I'm going to start with Kyle Jackson from the Rochester Nighthawks. 5 goals, 2 assists for Jackson in the loss to the Black Wolves, including a nifty one-handed underhand shot that beat Evan Kirk. This kid's had flashes of brilliance all season long, and I think the development of this player will continue for years to come. He's also going to be a player to keep a close eye on for the remainder of the season. Number 2, I've got Mitch Jones from the Buffalo Bandits. Jones had a pair of goals and 4 assists in the game against the Stealth, good enough to be named the game's first star. One of the goals was an absolute beauty as well. Jones has had a number of highlight reel markers this season. He's been fun to watch, and a player that the Bandits have been able to count on night in and night out. And at number 1, this player is certainly no stranger to box bosses. He's been named number 1 a couple of times. Callum Crawford from the Colorado Mammoth. Another great game for Callum against the Rock on Friday night. 3 goals, 3 assists. Now, just like Jones, Crawford has been extremely fun to watch this season. He's a leader for this team and makes that right side deadly for the Mammoth. If this team wants a big postseason run, Crawford's going to need to be an integral part of it.
Brett Hickey has come a long way in the National Lacrosse League. From the practice roster to a 50-goal season. We caught up with the Toronto Rock forward to find out more about his journey. Brett Hickey grew up in Windsor, Ontario, a town that wasn't really known for their lacrosse program, but he fell in love with the sport at a young age.
Fader 2, check, 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 check.
Back we are here at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto as the second half is underway. Schreiber with a behind-the-back shot. What a beautiful save by Ty Belanger. 8-2 after 2 quarters of play. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan here. Rock with a dominant 8-2 lead so far. Stealth in white, black, and red uniforms, rocking their home blue, red, and white. I kind of pass off the backboards. Nicely done. Found Durston. Went for the one touch to Small along the crease. Couldn't do it. And a one-hop bouncer from Schuss.
Oh, nice rebound.
And now
Durston scooped up that rebound nicely to give Vancouver the extra possession.
And it's a fresh 30 for the Stealth. One for the left wing there. And Schuss scoops it up, being pushed aside by Hostrauser. Schuss looking for some help, and he got free just for a moment. The ball scooted out of his stick. And Chapman with the shove. Great scoring opportunity there. That was Durston. Another wide shot, and as the shot clock hits 0, Rose went up like a ballerina on one foot and swung that leg out.
It was a good possession by Vancouver. Vancouver's needs to go on a bit of a run if they want to get back into this. Still lots of time.
Oh, plenty of time. And shot right on to Belanger. Loose ball scramble.
A better job by Vancouver to...
Oh, Toronto gets the ground ball. It's Littner.
I was going to say control the rebound, but to make sure there wasn't a dangerous rebound.
Littner sneaky fast. There's Schreiber. 3 assists tonight. Had 1 goal and 4 assists yesterday in Georgia. And the one touch from Bearns, and he is denied by Belanger.
Belanger played that one well.
And we've talked about numerous times that Bearns is most dangerous when the ball is in his stick for a half second.
Yeah, Bearns did what he usually does. It's in his stick and on the net, but there was nowhere for it to go.
Belanger doing his job. Reese touch down.
Oh, and it's a penalty. And,
yeah, slow to get up.
And this could be more than 2, potentially, if they call it a high stick.
Yeah, Dutch dropped the stick after that hit, shaking the cobwebs away. Gilbert with a big hit, and the shot clock hits 0. And we'll see what the call is here.
Let's see.
Yeah, Dutch very slow to get up at first. Seems okay now. Jalen Rogers taking a seat in the box.
Looks like the referees are having a discussion about what they're going to call. And you know Vancouver's hoping to get the extra time in the power play. This could be a big turning point in this game.
See if we can get the call.
Well, penalty number 23, 5 minutes for illegal cross check.
Yeah. Got 5.
Yep. So it's Jalen Rogers.
Let's watch the top of your screen, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it was right in the ear. Rogers caught Dutch coming across.
And it was
unsuspected
too, because
the
ball was nowhere near him.
No, that was nasty. So this will be a vital power play for Vancouver. See if they can get back into it. And Corey Small just ran out of room, pushed it back to the point for Dutch. Gets swatted aside by Brody Merrill. Sandy Chapman hacking at the hands of Dutch. Double team now. Merrill on him. Dutch still fishing for that loose ball. McCready coming after it now. And a 30-second shot clock violation, so it will remain rock ball here. There's Latrell Harris. And Brett Hickey. Looking to eat up as much clock as possible here.
Oh, we're getting calls. I think both teams. Oh, no, Toronto's getting another penalty.
And that's to Casey Bearns.
Casey Bearns. I think they're going to call him for holding the stick. Let's see. Oh, another illegal cross check.
Another illegal cross check. Okay. So this could be the story we look back on, Shanny, when this game is all said and done. Vancouver, 7th in the NLL in power play, 51.61% of the time converting.
They have to score on this 5-on-3.
Yeah. Toronto has a shorthanded goal tonight. A 5-on-3, and that shot did not get through. Sandy Chapman scooped up the loose ball. Vital. Chapman sprinting.
The only thing to see, it'll be interesting to see if the Rock try to take this ball to the net, because you know if something happens, there could be a call going the other way. Referees are kind of like that. You know, you can't help it, but if you call 2 penalties one way, you might be looking to call the next one the other way.
And Brett Hickey lost the ball there as the clock was winding down. And 2-on-2 as Toronto, again, will be down 2 men for the next minute and 14 seconds. Vancouver pressing. Going for that goal line, kicks it back, waits, and stoned by Rose, but it is immediately picked up by Dutch in a fresh 30. There's Corey Small behind the back pass, beautifully done. Small, waits, scores! Only a matter of time there. Corey Small on the 5-on-3 power play. And it's 8-3 Toronto.
Yep, you said it. It was only a matter of time before they were going to score. Dutch took his chance, and Corey Small, the NLL's leading point getter, gets into the action on this shot. And they'll still be on the power play.
For another 3 minutes and 5 seconds. 33rd goal of the season for Corey Small. What a year. Jarrett Toll and Magnuson taking the face off, and it's Vancouver who comes up with it. Ryan Wagner sprinting, pulling it back.
Now that goal nullifies the second penalty, so Vancouver could still score 2 more power plays against the major.
That's right. That nasty illegal cross-check to the head of Reese Dutch to Challen Rogers. That might warrant some extra discipline from the league. We'll have to see. Schuss plants that foot, and Rose with the stick side shoulder stave. And 9:54 to go in the third. We'll take the break. 8-3 Rock up on Vancouver. The Stealth still in the power play. When we come back, you're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
That's impossible.
Back to the action here at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Still 2:22 to kill for Toronto on the major to Challen Rogers. 8-3, the Rock lead. And the Stealth Shanny already have 1 power play goal coming from Corey Small. Can score up to 2 more here because of the major. Gus back to Small. Small, beautiful pass to Schuss, and Rose stood his ground. A lob outlet pass to Damon Edwards. After all this, the Rocks still have 2 minutes to kill. LeBlanc pushing his way, getting double teamed. Swerving, backpedaling, pushing! He nearly scored there. A one hand behind the backer.
Good effort, but some good defense by Vancouver. They were going to make sure that if he was going to put it in the net, it had to be a miraculous shot.
LeBlanc already has 1 shorthanded goal tonight. Rock's penalty kill ranks 7th in the league. Small back to the point. And diving scars! What a feed. Drew the Toronto defense out. And sneaking in from behind. And that was James Ray.
Yeah, nice play. Vancouver was running a rotation on the top, and I think Toronto just got hypnotized, stepped up too high, anticipating the next pass up high. And it didn't go high. He went down low to Ray, and he dove across for a very nice goal.
Beautiful goal by James Ray.
Yeah, Toronto was caught cheating there.
Great athleticism. 6'4", 230 pounds for Ray to go up and high in the air. And that's 8-4. So still on the power play for another minute is Vancouver because of the major. So Vancouver has scored the last two. And this, Shanny, is what we were talking about, something that the Stealth needed to do to try to get within striking distance, and they're right there now.
Yeah, they definitely have to go on a run, and this is the best way to start it.
Toronto had 5 unanswered goals earlier in the game, and that hit a post. Schreiber almost had Toronto's second shorthanded goal of the game. 35 seconds left with the man advantage for Vancouver. Small on the right wing, gets rid of it. Clicks with Small. You have Conway setting up in the high post.
They're doing it again, running that rotation up high.
13 seconds left with the man advantage. Over the top, saved by Steele was Toronto. And it's right back, though. James Ray collects it. 5 seconds until the major is over. And finally, we're back to even strength. Challen Rogers on the floor. Creeping in. Oh, and a snap delivery by Schuss. Still for, oh, big collision. Open floor hit. Harris. And it's still being tangled. And mangled Logan Schuss. The ferocity of these two teams going at it. Toronto ends up coming away. Logan Schuss, impressive hold on to the ball. .6:45 left in the third quarter. There's Hickey. Turner Evans feeds and scores! Evans to Littner! The one-timer! 9-4 Toronto.
And I believe this is Dan Littner's first hat trick of his career in his second season. And this is just nice pass across floor, but look how quickly he shoots.
Yeah.
There is no chance for Belanger to get set.
To the weak side and finds Littner. And that is Turner Evans' third assist of the night. And Littner's hat trick, he has 4 points total. And now Toronto, after that long penalty kill, finds the back of the net. Stephen LeBlanc, I saw some space. He'll pull up to the point for Schreiber. Unleashes a laser, but Belanger right there to keep it out. See Corey Small trying to center up, gets rid of it. Delth unable to penetrate, swatted down, nearly picked off by Billy Hostrauser. Back in his way is Durston. Durston, wild shot, gobbled up by Toronto, and Brody Merrill chugging over center. Merrill gives it. Toronto's offense, Littner to Merrill, and the captain gets pushed to the ground.
Well, Durston's getting a penalty. Looked like he was calling on Hostrauser for a fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an unsportsmanlike for this.
Vancouver
Let's hear.
penalty number 78, 2 minutes, rough.
Roughing.
Okay. Roughing the call on Durston. Yeah, we don't see it there.
No.
Behind the play.
It was way behind the play. Yeah. Nice scoring opportunity by Brody Merrill.
Schreiber at the top, feeds Hickey. Over to the right side, and that attempt was wide. Schreiber hustling back to make sure it didn't go over him back. 7 to shoot, there's Hickey. Clicks with Schreiber. Schreiber plants that foot. Oh, the power. Wide, though, and that will go over and back. So Vancouver possession here with 5:02 left in the third. Minute 31 to kill for the Stealth. Just will take it. Vancouver 2 shorthanded goals this season.
This is just Toronto's second power play of the game, but they've been ineffective so far.
Yeah. Second last, only New England less effective with the man advantage in the league. A nice attempt save there on the left pad of Rose. There's Magnuson, who's been filling in on face-off duty for the injured Bradley Cree. .53 seconds with the man advantage for Toronto. Creeping in. There's Hickey. Finds Schreiber. Back to Hickey to the point. Hickey receives, plants, and scores a bullet from number 11. Brett Hickey with his second of the night.
And his 32nd of the season. Scored 5 last night. Got the best outside shot of the Toronto Rock. And you knew it was a matter of time before one of these big guns, Hickey, Schreiber, or LeBlanc, was going to put an outside shot past Belanger in the power play.
And one more stat to add to Hickey, Shanny. He got goal number 100 last night of his career. Added to that, now has 105 in his NLL career, does Brett Hickey. Loose ball scramble, there's Magnuson. 4 minutes even to go in the third quarter. Toronto's 10th goal of the evening. That's Reinhold. Reinhold off his back foot. Belanger saw it. Now Vancouver. They can get a couple here, Shanny, and be within 5 or 4 in the fourth quarter. They can try to wear Toronto down and see if the second game of the back-to-back comes into effect endurance-wise. Small with the feed, and Rose turns around. He didn't see it, but it stayed out. Gives it to Sorensen. Sorensen rolling up the floor with that stone-cold Steve Austin-style brace on his left leg. Shot wide, picked up by Vancouver. There's Wagner. Wagner. For that momentary 3-on-2. He will wait now for the offense, and he'll head to the bench. Have Small on the right wing. Dutch trying to create some space. For Ray, the big man, there's Durston. Durston planted that foot, put all his weight behind it, and Rose stood tall. Long outlet pass, found Jesse Gamble. The speedster stands in the face-off circle, and he bounces it to Magnuson.
Jordan Durston's one of the most aggressive guys I've seen on the offense. He's just hammering guys.
Schreiber with the bouncer. High rebound, and Toronto somehow came down with that was Turner Evans.
That was amazing.
Nice spin. Schreiber, point blank range, and again he's wide.
That one got stuck in his stick.
And the shot clock hit 0. And we will take the break. Toronto leads Vancouver 10-4. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV. This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Vancouver with the ball here versus the Rock, trailing Toronto 10-4. Reese Dutch here on the left side, a skipper, and it rattles off the glass. Schuss gobbles it up. He's being hacked to bits. Schuss, what control.
Vancouver,
trying to thread the needle.
They pulled their goaltender. They pulled Belanger in that last possession.
A minute 42 to go in the third, down by 6. Stefan LeBlanc sliding in, fails to click with Littner, goes off the glass. He corrals it eventually, over to LeBlanc, went for the far side, and it was loose. Schreiber couldn't get to it, there's Salt. Shots pretty close, 38-37 in favor of Vancouver. They did have those 2 long power play runs. And there goes Belanger in the last minute of play of the third quarter for the extra attacker.
This time it's on a delayed penalty.
And another, penalty coming to Toronto. Magnuson, there's Small. And a hard pass as the clock hits 0, the shot clock. We'll see what the infraction is this time to Toronto.
I think it's Brock Sorensen. I think this is going to be an illegal cross-check.
That'll be the third one of those tonight.
Oh, play number 3, 2 minutes illegal cross check.
There it is. So the Stealth will finish this quarter on the power play, unless they score, of course. Couple power play goals tonight for the Stealth. And Vancouver tightening that box, creeping in, cycling the ball on the top, and a save by Edwards.
Yeah, went off Edwards' back.
Small receives from the point. He waits, tried for that screen, picked up by Schuss, behind the back pass. Beautiful connection to the point for Small. He waits, and a sidearm, and Rose just stood perfectly still after making that stop. And 12 seconds left. Toronto will get one opportunity shorthanded. They have one shorthander tonight. 3 seconds. And Hickey, it looked more dangerous than it might have been intended to. Kind of knuckled there at the end, and Belanger with a nice stop. So after 3 quarters of play, Toronto leads 10-4. This season, when they lead after 3, the Rock are 6-1. Vancouver will try to give them their second loss in that category. We'll step aside, come back for the fourth. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV. 15 minutes to go here at the Air Canada Centre. Toronto Rock lead the Vancouver Stealth 10-4. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan with you. Out-of-town scores, Shanny. Buffalo Bandits up 6-3 on the Nighthawks in Rochester.
And that's at halftime.
Very important game for both of those clubs, trying to keep pace with the New England Black Wolves, who will play Calgary this evening. That'll start in about 10 minutes. They're currently in third. The Rock circling around in their blue, red, and white uniforms. Vancouver in white, black, and red. Huge stop there by Belanger.
Despite having that long power play, the Vancouver Stealth weren't able to put in a dent into the lead that Toronto had. It was 8-2. Both teams scored 2 goals that quarter.
That's right, and the Stealth are still with the man advantage for another 29 seconds. There's Ray. He has one tonight. Ray now heads to the low post to set up Conway.
This is what they did on that goal by Ray.
Trying to draw him in. Ray behind the back. It did not get through. Had the right idea, just couldn't get through the Toronto defense. Toronto will have the ball and likely kill off the last 9 seconds of the illegal cross-check minor to Brock Sorensen. It was in his second game back after being injured with an ACL, had surgery. Happened last April. Reed Reinhold, the hero last night. Big shot, beautiful pass, all alone, and Belanger with a massive save.
You know what? He's, for the most part, he's had Bearns' number. I know Bearns put that one goal in from that same spot that eventually trickled in the net.
Well, the 10 goals, can't think of too many that you can blame on Belanger. There's Magnuson racing up the floor, has Gamble with him. Jesse Gamble stops on a dime, pulls back, trying to get his teammate off the bench in transition, and Vancouver picks it off. Rock defense get back on the floor though.
Gamble probably forced that pass on a play that really wasn't there.
Lots of time left for the Stealth, and they get one back. They're within 5. That's going to be Durston.
Yeah, Jordan Durston gets his second point of the game along with an assist, and I've liked the way he plays so aggressive on the offense. He turns every shift into a battle, and it's not that often you see the defensemen taking as many hits as they're giving.
Well, 16th goal of the season for Durston, the Wallaceburg, Ontario native. They're now 10-5, 39 shots apiece. And this will be very interesting, Shanny, to see if Toronto shows any sign of fatigue playing not just 4 quarters last night, but then some overtime as well. And Vancouver has fresh legs. You said it when we were talking to the coaching staff earlier. They said, Vancouver themselves said, we were victim of that not that long ago.
Yeah, and you want to avoid, if you're the Toronto Rock, going into any kind of defensive shell.
Right.
Because that always comes back to bite in the butt.
We're waiting on something here. Toronto next will have a return home date with the Stealth in Vancouver on March 25th. Or rather on March 31st, sorry. Then on April 2nd, they are in New England. A week off, and then back here at the Air Canada Centre for the last home regular season game against the Buffalo Bandits. And we haven't seen that 5th goal put up on the screen.
They haven't put the goal up.
No. Each bench getting an explanation. I didn't really notice a problem with it, but and Vancouver head coach Jamie Batley pointing to possibly to the scoreboard. And give me that 5 up there.
Well, we're only guessing what's wrong here.
Yeah.
Is it just that the scoreboard's not working? There it is. Now,
okay.
Put the score up now.
As we see the wave here at the Air Canada Centre. Great crowd here in Toronto cheering on the Rock. And if they get a win tonight, Toronto, they will move within a half game of the Georgia Swarm. Magnuson kicks that ball free. Magnuson with the one-touch scores! Magnuson with the feed. That might be a crease.
This is beautiful if it's good. Even if it's not,
it was still beautiful. On the one hop.
I'm throwing the flag if I'm Vancouver no matter what.
T'Challon Rogers trying to redeem himself.
Let's watch the replay because this is what Vancouver's watching right now to see. That's close enough that I'd throw the flag.
And there it is.
There it is, yeah.
With an emphatic chuck.
And we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying he was in the crease, but
you have to slow it down.
Yeah, it definitely was close enough that it warranted a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. T'Challon Rogers, who had that 5-minute major for the illegal cross-check, might get a little bit of redemption here. We'll see which angles we get. Should be seeing the angles, the same ones that the officials are watching.
Well, on the first look, to me it looked like he landed on the crease. The question is, was the ball in the net yet?
Ooh, yeah. Let's see.
He caught that ball in the air.
Oh, that was gorgeous. Now, I think that one's coming back.
I don't know. Can you tell he's touching yet?
Okay, so we see the ball. I'm losing track of where the ball is there. Is it?
Oh, it looks like he's decided. So I think you're right. I think he's going to call it back.
And they're out pretty quick. I think this one will come back. Let's see, though. No goal. So each team has had a goal called back this evening. That's the right call. That was close. An exciting play nonetheless. So that keeps it a 5-goal game and the Stealth within striking distance. Could have been a backbreaker right there.
Both teams have won their challenges.
Yeah.
So keen eyes by the coaches.
40 shots apiece. Vancouver ball. Reese touch brings it over center.
It enables Vancouver the chance to go on a run.
Yeah.
And they're playing games with their goaltender.
Trying to set a pick, and that ball went off the defender's foot.
Belanger has come out of the net numerous times for the extra attacker. They always make sure he's safely back in the net by the time the shot's taken.
Oh, and that was a odd shot. It took a weird bounce off the turf, and Rose got it. What do we have here?
They're calling for a reset to the 30-second shot clock.
Okay, so Reese touch. Play is blown in, and there we go. Here's Durston, who scored the last Stealth goal. Dutch receives. Dutch outmaneuvers his man, and a swing stick save by Rose.
That's a huge save by Rose.
Yeah.
Great play by Dutch.
Breaking some ankles there, Reese Dutch. Oh.
Stutter step created lots of room, and we've seen Dutch score both his goals from farther out than that shot.
Under 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Casey Byrne's got rid of it, sets up in the high post. Now he maneuvers his way out. Brett Hickey with possession. We know Hickey can score from anywhere. LeBlanc. Oh, and corralling that in.
That was a dangerous pass.
Very. That. Can you get any more power than that, Turner Evans? Oh, a lot of velocity. Little underhand pass, sloppy, intended for LeBlanc, picked up by Vancouver. There's Hawksby.
Actually, I like that pass. I just think LeBlanc wasn't expecting it.
Fooled everybody, including his teammate. So there's Dutch in the neutral zone as Vancouver will set up. There's Small. Small with 1 goal tonight, came on the power play. Being hacked, ball did not get past Jesse Gamble. And Toronto trying on transition. Latrell Harris, the speedy 19-year-old. Harris with a breakaway. Harris, and it's wide.
That went off the pipe.
Latrell Harris.
Latrell Harris scored a goal last night. He's another one of those players gets a breakaway a game, it seems.
Well, he had that on a similar play against the Swarm in this building not that long ago that scored late. And Reed Reinhold trying to use the Vancouver defender as a screen. And now it's a Stealth in transition, on-man rush.
Oh, they're going to be called too many men on the floor, I believe.
Brody Merrill was hit, and the captain not too happy. He's staring down the Vancouver bench.
I don't see. Oh yeah, there is a guy going in the penalty box. I believe that's for leaving too early.
Vancouver penalty, 2 minutes, illegal substitution.
Yeah. There it is. Thomas Hogarth is the in-home server of penalties tonight for the Stealth. 10:31 remaining.
Is that
42
not,
shots apiece.
that's Logan Shush in the penalty box there.
That's weird. They had on this
yeah.
program Hogarth. All right. Oh,
they
now
put
Shush
the
is coming out.
They put the wrong guy in. Yes. You know what? I think they thought because Logan Shush was the guy who went on that he should serve it, or at least Logan Shush thought that. But you're right. They got to put the in-home guy on.
So Shush is back to the bench. Toronto with a power play here. Brett Hickey scored with the man advantage tonight. You have Schreiber on the floor. Here's LeBlanc there on the right. The lefty drops to Schreiber. Feeds LeBlanc. A little bit of space now. LeBlanc sliding, creeping. Intercepted. Went for that side pass. Intended to go to the left side, but it's
not a great pass by LeBlanc, but a good interception defensively.
Yeah, and Toronto gets it right back.
This box is really collapsing. I'm surprised Toronto's not taking the outside shots. They didn't have a lot of success early in the game with the outside shots, but you know, with their outside shooters, Hickey, LeBlanc, and Schreiber, you think they would take some outside shots when it collapses as much as it did.
No, you're right. Toronto working that ball down low now. Plants that foot, Hickey. And a great save. And it's loose, though, now. And picked up by O'Doherty. O'Doherty rolling over center. O'Doherty. I was thinking about going for it for a second.
I think Vancouver has to take it to the net.
Well, they got to start gambling where they're under 10 minutes here. Soon to be under 9. And down.
You don't want to be guilty of killing your own clock when you're behind in a game.
Whoa. And double team by Durston. And we will step aside with the Rock leading and under 9 minutes to play up on the Vancouver Stealth. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Last week, Jordan Durston took down Mitch Jones and became the Versus champion. Mitch Jones is back. Let's take a look at the two plays. Durston picks up the loose ball, underhand, backhand, top, corner on Alex Bouquet. And here's Mitch Jones. What? Takes the pass behind the back on the run, top corner on Ty Belanger. One more look. The feed from Anthony Malcolm. Oh yeah, top corner for Mitch Jones. So fans, do you have Durston from the Vancouver Stealth, or do you have Mitch Jones, who's back for revenge from the Buffalo Bandits? Head to Twitter now. You know what to do. Cast your vote.
If you're a player looking for a lightweight head that delivers power and control, string up the Under Armour Command Low.
We're back in the fourth quarter. The Air Canada Center. Belanger sidesteps over to make a key save and keep it 10-5. The Rock leading the Vancouver Stealth.
Well, a big penalty kill for Vancouver.
Yeah, they just had that expire.
But they've got to get to business and score some goals.
Reese Dutch could be the man to start that. Gets rid of it. Oh, and that is another high fly ball. Stays in play.
I can't
Takes
believe
2-3 hops. Hit about every corner you could on the boards and glass. Stays in play. Toronto will get possession. And Reed Reinhold. Hero last night. Has a goal this evening. Under 8 minutes to play. Bringing it in and scores! Wow! Tom Schreiber. Little hop, step, and a jump. And he gives Toronto their 11th goal.
Well, a relatively quiet game for the top scoring rookie in the NLL. But that's his 4th point, just his first goal. And he just drives hard to the net with speed, puts it short side.
You have Schreiber 6 feet 190, has that nice kind of middle size like a Steph LeBlanc. Just powerful enough.
What a season he's having.
Oh.
66 points.
Man. 20th goal of the year. Not bad for a guy who never played box lacrosse before this season, Shanny.
Yeah, and and he will threaten the rookie scoring record too, set last year by Randy Stotts.
Almost helped that right there. And Schreiber, behind the back pass, finds his teammates. Of course, Schreiber, a star in the field game in college and at the pro level. Reinhold waits.
Well,
man, what a save by Belanger. Belanger doing just about everything he can.
They gave Reinhold all kinds of room. Look at this.
And now, McFetrich outmaneuvers the defense all alone and saved by Steele. And another shot. Hostrauser pounds McCready.
Big hit.
Oh.
Was that Hostrauser or was that Brody Merrill? But
I think Hostrauser got McCready there.
He went down hard. McCready looks.
And Ray.
Yeah, he looks like he's sore.
That was a hard hit. And Rose left all alone. The crossbar helped him out there. And he goes down and he squeezes those pads together to prevent Reese Dutch from getting his hat trick. Rock lead by 6. 6:38 remaining. And Toronto streaking. Schreiber again.
Not much different from the last play, except it didn't go in the net.
Yeah. Schreiber's game keeps evolving as the season goes on. From a setup man to a long-range scoring threat. Now streaking to the net, too. There's Ray. Ray! Right into the belly of Nick Rose. And Toronto's playing like they're the ones down by 6. There's Stephen LeBlanc. Has to get it over before the 8-second mark. He does. LeBlanc has Smith on him. Gives to the right wing to Evans. Turner Evans. Deceiving hard shot. Evans takes it with the one touch.
That went off the post.
Yeah. And Belanger able to dive over. That was the 50th shot for the Toronto Rock. Cliff Smith stuck out there for the moment. There's Dutch on the left side. Dutch waits and tried for the 3-quarter. It's kicked. After the Dutch rebound, Smith kicked it. Rock ball here. Brody Merrill, the captain.
And Vancouver's defense is really spreading out, trying to get that ball, and it's creating opportunities.
Whoa! And a shot to the head. That is going to be a penalty. O'Doherty went high on Reinhold, who went down. And O'Doherty saying to the ref, I'm not sure what he's arguing about. The stick definitely nailed Reinhold in the head.
I don't know if Reinhold's going to ask for 5. I don't think he's going to get it.
See, Challen Rogers got 5.
Vancouver penalty number 4, 2 minutes, trip.
Trip.
Oh, well. They're going for something. I would have thought maybe a headshot, but either way.
Oh, did you see that?
Oh, that's a bit.
Yes. He stepped right on his foot.
Oh.
Yeah. Good call.
Okay, good call. Yeah. Hey. Best officials in the world, folks, right there. Called the right infraction right on the floor. Toronto with the man advantage, trying for more under 5 minutes to play. Point blank range. Belanger comes up huge. Snap outlet pass, and it clicks.
No question, Vancouver has to take it to the net. They can't kill off 2 minutes.
No.
Toronto would be quite happy to let them.
Oh, and into the shoulder of Rose. And Vancouver not known for their shorthanded goals this season, only 2. So they'll have to become risk takers. There's Stephen LeBlanc backpedaling his way into Vancouver territory.
Be interesting to see if Toronto plays a little safer here just to try to avoid giving any breakaways.
LeBlanc pinching in. Evans has a bit of space, finds LeBlanc there. Open left side. Evans over the top hurl and is swatted down by Toll. And now Toronto on the break.
Nothing safe about that by
there
Toronto.
There it is. And scores! Justin Salt. Justin Salt streaking down the field, caught it in stride. And it's the 3rd shorthanded goal of the year for Vancouver.
And that's probably about his 4th scoring chance.
Yeah.
Toronto was really sloppy considering, the score of the game. You think they play a little safer on the power play. They give up the ball high, make a bad change, and Justin Salt, who's been Vancouver's best transition player, gets a scoring chance and makes the most of it. They're going to be pulling their goalie.
3:54 left in the game. Conway here. The big man is going to try to set up in the high post. Now moves back out. Reese Dutch, swing and a miss. Jesse Gamble on him. Tomahawk chop. Boy, Dutch is hammered 2-3 times now. Loses his stick as well. Dutch has taken some hard hits in this game and looking for a call. He's not going to get it.
Well, I really didn't see anything on that play.
No.
And I think Dutch might have been trying to sell something, but referee didn't see anything either.
No, just hard, physical, clean play. The Battle of Canada, and they'll do it again next week in Vancouver. O'Doherty out of the box. It's now back to even strength with 3:07 to go. And Vancouver down by 5. Intended for LeBlanc. He picked it up off of the ground ball. He'll skip it in as the shot clock hits 0. There's O'Doherty, and we will take our last break. The Rock 11, Stealth 6. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Hey now, Mia. I turn it over to you for the Unstrung Hero of the Week, presented by String King, a player who may not have chipped in on the score sheet, but contributed to his team's successes in some other ways. So, who have you got?
Well, this is a player that you're actually used to contributing on the score sheet. Not this week, though, but he contributed in other ways for sure. So I'm giving the Unstrung Hero title to Zach Greer, sticking with your Colorado Mammoth theme in this one. And this is why in this game, he had a season-high 5 assists, helping the team to a big win against the Toronto Rock. Now, we are used to Greer getting on the scoreboard, but in this one, he was helping his other teams get to the net and get the goals. And we also see that the Colorado Mammoth are just a stronger team with him back in the lineup. He's a leader both on and off the floor, and that is why he is this week's Unstrung Hero.
The Whitby, Ontario native is a workhorse on the floor. Offense, transition, defense, a leader on and off the floor in the dressing room. A very big part of this Colorado Mammoth team. And just like Callum Crawford, if they want to make a run in the postseason, he's going to be a very, very, very big part of that. And I'll be excited to see the contributions that this player makes in the postseason as well.
Back we are here at the Air Canada Centre. 2:55 left in the game. Toronto leading Vancouver 11-6. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. You can get us on Twitter at NLL, at AndyMC81, at SPD Shanny. You can join the conversation using hashtag Van versus Torstow. Lots of action in the NLL tonight. Buffalo versus Rochester on as we speak. Saskatchewan in Colorado, and New England at Calgary.
Vancouver has to get some goals quick, so they have their goalie pulled with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, they're down by 5. Not out of it. Yeah, oh, and that's a post. Rose spins around, scores, and that bounced right back out. Rose didn't see it. It hit the right post, went right back out to Vancouver. I'm not sure who got that. Was that Reese Dutch?
I don't think so. I think it was a righty, probably Durston, but
Let's see.
I didn't see it either. The ball disappeared.
So we'll see.
Not much of it. Oh, yeah, hit the
just
post.
Trickled.
Yeah, the first one hits the post, and watch, yeah, I believe it is Durston,
Yeah, it's
just
Durston.
in the right spot. Nothing Rose could have done there.
No, so second of the night for Durston, and 2:44 left. Shanny, this Vancouver team, this isn't trying to oversell it, folks. This Vancouver team has the weaponry to make this up very quickly. You have the top scorer in the NLL, and Corey Small, and several in the top 15. And Toll lays a hit.
And Vancouver was not able to get the ball out within 8 seconds. That will give Toronto a valuable 30 seconds to kill.
Both goalies have been great tonight. 52-50 the shots in favor of Toronto. Rose has been stellar, but Belanger's kept his team within striking distance all night. LeBlanc drops it back, draws the defense, and Reinhold scores! A feed from LeBlanc, and the rookie has his second of the night.
And I think that's going to be a backbreaker. And Reinhold and LeBlanc starting to really create some chemistry. Nice scoop pass. Everyone thought LeBlanc was taking it to the net. As soon as two guys follow him, scoops it up to Reinhold for his second goal of the night. That's 2 nights in a row. The rookie has scored 2 goals.
Yeah, 10th of the season, lefty to lefty there. So now it is 12-7, and the Rock get the ball off the faceoff.
And what the Rock has been successful with in the second half, they have not allowed Vancouver to score more than 2 in a row.
Yeah. They had a 5 unanswered goal run early in the game and really haven't looked back.
And they've pretty much been even in the second half. In fact, Vancouver's outscored Toronto by 1 goal in the second half. But when you're down 8-2, outscoring your opponent by 1 goal is not going to get you back in.
No. And there's Conway on the left wing. Dishes to Dutch. Across the floor. Dutch gets it right back. Ray trying to clear a lane. Screen set. Now to the left side. Conway. Over lots of room now. Right on. A juicy rebound. Ray gobbled up the loose ball that went off the crease. Went far side, and Rose got it caught up in his equipment.
Rose
and that's an empty
about
cage. And Rose. Now he had one and scores! He had one last year. He had one last year, and he does it again. Nick Rose. All smiles for number 66.
That, I believe, is Nick Rose's 3rd goal. I think he scored another goal this year. I'll double check in a second.
Rose does it again. And the sniper.
And McFetridge got a piece of this.
He was trying.
Oh, he's just so frustrated.
Oh, he's like, come on. Nick Rose. Give the goaltender a tick in the goal scoring column. 13-7 Toronto. And it's been that type of night for the Stealth. Last minute of play in the game. 3rd career goal. You're right there, Shanny. 2nd of the year.
What a season Nick Rose is having.
It's going to be a hat now. Sidearm skip. Goes down to a knee for the save. And that impressive goals against average, league leading, will continue to dip. 30 seconds left. And the Rock just winding things down. As the Stealth never really were able to get anything going after going up 1-0 early. Toronto scored the next 5, and that was about it. 30-second shot clock violation. So Vancouver gets it for 11.9 more seconds.
And they're not even going to get it because Vancouver's getting a penalty on the play.
Oh.
So Toronto's going to get that ball and just eat up the last 13 seconds. So very impressive win by the Toronto
Vancouver
Rock.
penalty, 2 minutes, roughing.
2 minutes roughing. But these two teams won't have to wait long to get back at one another next week in Vancouver, March 31st, 10 o'clock Eastern on NLL TV.
The Toronto Rock will be 7-0 all time against Vancouver Stealth after this victory.
2 seconds. 1, and it is over! The Toronto Rock win it over the Stealth 13-7. and improve to 8-5 on the season. Now, Shanny, you have the Swarm at 8-4, who the Rock beat last night, and Toronto now 8-5. And when you look at Vancouver, now 5-8. And boy, the Calgary Roughnecks have a great opportunity here.
They sure do. And you know what? Perfect weekend for the Toronto Rock. Beating Georgia last night in Georgia, winning the second night of back-to-back games. All of a sudden, they're in a realistic spot for first place, just a half a game behind Georgia. So, and first place is huge. If you can get first place, you get a bye in the first round of the playoffs, while second and third battle it out for the right to play you.
Sure.
So if they can get that first place, they would love to do it. And, a tough loss for Vancouver, who has had no success against the Toronto Rock since this franchise moved from Washington to Vancouver. This team, Vancouver Stealth, they had won or gone to the championship 3 times in 4 years.
That's
and
right.
Since going to Vancouver, they've had a tough time, and particularly against the Toronto Rock. That's their 7th loss in 7 games.
Yeah, 7-0 the Rock are now. Nick Rose, what can you say? And you know what? Full credit to Ty Belanger. Let's go over Ty Belanger first here, Shandy, because for Belanger, kept this team in it, kept the Stealth within striking distance, and the defense just got worn down. And the Toronto took advantage of the transition at times. Vancouver did, I think, a good job overall, but at key moments it broke down and Toronto capitalized.
No, it sure did. And you know what? You fall behind 8-2. That's really tough hole to climb out of, and you're not going to do it unless you can get on one of those 4 or 5 goal runs. And a few times it looked like Vancouver was starting to carry the play, but anytime they scored 2, Toronto came right back. But you mentioned Belanger had a good game, but Nick Rose just brings his average down. Leading goals against average. His 2nd goal of the season. He's really making a case for MVP of the team, but also best goaltender in the league. I know we saw a great game, last week by Colorado's goaltender Dylan Ward, but Nick Rose has been pretty consistent from the start of the season right to now. And another big effort by him.
Yeah, next level by Nick Rose. Keeps the team in it. When you look at the Toronto Rock, you have a hat trick from Dan Littner, a couple from Stefan LeBlanc, Brett Hickey, he's back. And when you add in the likes of Reed Reinhold being able as a rookie again, and he's had a nice season all year, but it seems like the last 2-3 weeks he's really come on. And another weapon for Toronto.
Really, the Toronto Rock have 4 or 5 rookies that are contributing in a huge way. Defensively, offensively, and that's not even to talk about the guys that are playing second, third years in the league. Young guys like Dan Littner, you said it's only his 2nd year in the league, scored a hat trick, and and let's not forget about guys like Philip Caputo, gets in once every 2 or 3 games and always does something special. So
always contributes.
This young team, the young players in this team have really contributed for the Toronto Rock, and we're still seeing the leaders, the Steph LeBlancs, the Bjorns, and on the back end, Brody Merrill. Those guys are still doing what they've always done.
And for the Vancouver Stealth, a tough trip home. The offense isn't the problem. Now, they couldn't beat Nick Rose tonight, but you have the offensive power to be a great team, and that's been the frustrating part for the Stealth because they have the weapons, but it's been defensively that they've struggled. They've really, I think, solidified the back end in net now, Shanny, with Belanger, but it's just those breakdowns in transition.
I'd say, though, today it was the offense. Really, they ended up with 7 goals, but, they got a couple late goals. They got a couple goals in that 5-on-3. But, from start to finish in this game, the offense really didn't do a whole lot. Dutch scored a couple goals in the first half, but other than that, if it wasn't for those power plays and a couple of late goals, the offense really did nothing for Vancouver Stealth tonight. I mean, they've been scoring a lot all year, but not tonight.
No, not tonight, and that's full credit to Nick Rose. So they'll get to do it again a week from now as the NLL trade deadline comes up on Monday. We'll see if any teams make any moves. You can stay tuned to NLL.com for that and on Twitter at NLL. But, Shanny, when you're looking now at the Toronto Rock, the conversation from a week ago has changed from, all right, hold off New England for second, to the Rock of, well, all right, go take first.
And, and it's funny how in this league this could happen. One good weekend or one bad weekend really changes the conversation. We saw it with Colorado a few weeks ago, had an 0-2 weekend, and all of a sudden, they're worried about the third-place team behind them. They come back with another strong win. That changes. Toronto Rock, too. Last week after losing, they're one game over 500 and looking behind at New England, but a couple of wins. And you're right. The conversation is about what do we have to do to catch Georgia.
So 2 games for the Rock next weekend after playing the Stealth in Vancouver, then a bye week, and then we'll be back with you April 14th for Toronto's last regular season home game against the Buffalo Bandits and Shanny. Those are always fun. Doesn't matter what the record are. When Buffalo and Toronto play, it's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 2 teams that are out of the playoffs. They play that game as if it's for a championship, so that should be a very fun game.
Well, for the Buffalo Bandits, they're fighting Rochester tonight. They're trying to stay in the playoff conversation with New England, so this could be we'll have to see.
Well, you know what? If you look in the East, if you're not going to concede it, but it looks like Georgia and Toronto are I don't want to say safe, but it looks like they're pulling away a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's only one more spot, and it's likely between New England and Buffalo. If Buffalo can hold on to win this game against Rochester, that's going to be a huge battle for that last playoff spot.
Well, an exciting weekend still to come around the NLL, so stay tuned to NLLTV.com and, of course, NLL.com. So for Brian Shanahan and our producer, Sean Neferjad, I'm Andy McNamara. You've been watching the NLL. Toronto Rock win it 13-7 over the Vancouver Stealth. Have a great weekend.